Very good evening. Welcome to State of Business on our television. I'm Ashing Sani Veerasinghe. Let's have a look at the headlines first. Sri Lanka official reserves increased to $7.1 billion in last month. Apex body of apparel industry cautions of 100,000 job losses in the industry due to COVID-19 crisis. News in detail. Central bank data showed that Sri Lanka's gross forex reserves grew by $407 million by the end of July this year as a result of currency swap facility with India. Central bank data showed that country's gross forex reserves went up to $7,102 million from $6,694.6 million in June this year. In late July, Sri Lanka's central bank received $500 million from the Reserve Bank of India through a currency swap arrangement. Sri Lanka's forex reserves started to outflow after the central bank engaged in a monetary stimulus from late February, injecting large volumes of money despite having a pegged exchange rate to collect forex reserves. But private credit was negative in May and June, which helped stem outflows. Authorities also slapped the worst import control seen in the island since the collapse of the Bretton Woods system of soft pegs in 1971. Though total foreign reserves fell in June due to debt repayments, the central bank bought dollars in the forex market as credit turned negative. The central bank also stopped the rupee from appreciating beyond 185 to the US dollar back to 182 to the US dollar as credit fell in suspected de facto real effect exchange rate targeting. Marking another milestone in the Mattala Rajapaksa International Airport in Hambantota, a cargo flight has taken off from Mattala Rajapaksa International Airport to the United States for the first time yesterday. Accordingly, Mattala Rajapaksa International Airport, which is the second international airport in Sri Lanka, was opened in March 2013 by then-President Mahinda Rajapaksa. Thus, a cargo flight took off from Mattala Rajapaksa International Airport to the United States for the first time yesterday. The Emirates flight arrived at Mattala Rajapaksa International Airport yesterday evening with 428 stranded Sri Lankans from Dubai, and then the aircraft packed with 28 metric tons of garments left for the United States last night. In the meantime, conveying a message from the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the High Commissioner of India to Sri Lanka, Gopal Bagle, informed Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa that India would like Sri Lanka to send the first international flight to the newly upgraded Kushinagar airport. In June of this year, the Indian government took the decision to declare the Kushinagar airport in Uttar Pradesh an international airport. The High Commissioner made this invitation when he called on Prime Minister Rajapaksa at Temple Trees this weekend to convey his best wishes following the victory at the recently concluded parliamentary election. In addition to ongoing projects, High Commissioner Bagle said India would also be happy to assist Sri Lanka on areas such as water and sanitation. The Hotels Association of Sri Lanka urges the government to establish a task force for tourism to prepare a tourism recovery plan by consulting all stakeholders to rebuild Sri Lanka. The association, in its statement congratulating the new government, has made a set of immediate measures to support the industry. Accordingly, the Hotels Association of Sri Lanka proposes the government to introduce a 2-year debt moratorium of capital and interest on all loans and advances. It further urges the government to introduce a wage support loan of 20,000 rupees per employee at 4% interest rate and repayable over at least a 10-year period. THASL requests the government to lift travel limitations and enhance health protocols for safe travel from the countries that have managed to control the pandemic successfully. It further requests the relevant officials to encourage domestic tourism by declaring a 4-day work week, similar to that being explored by a number of countries, or by declaring the last Friday of the month a public holiday for the next 3 months. Significantly, establishing a task force for tourism to prepare a tourism recovery plan is another major proposal made to the government by the THASL. Stay tuned for more news after this short break. Welcome back after the break. One of the key bodies of the apparel industry in Sri Lanka, Joint Apparel Association Forum, estimates that nearly 100,000 people engaged in the industry will be unemployed due to COVID-19 pandemic impact, with multiple waves experienced in major markets. Moreover, Joint Apparel Association Forum is also of the view that despite picking up of the industry is seen, apparel exports for the entirety of 2020 are likely to be $2 billion lower than last year. Joint Apparel Association Forum Chairman A. Sukumaran says that around 300 garment factories employ 990,000 persons and over 1 million people are indirectly dependent or employed. He pointed out that when the capacity drops by 35% to 40%, which is around $1.5 to $2 billion, it was not economically viable for the factories to have the same level of employees. Joint Apparel Association Forum states that apparel export earnings will decline by 40%, which is about $2 billion, and in the best case scenario, earnings will drop by $1.3 billion to $3.3 billion by the year end. Sri Lanka last year earned $5.3 billion from apparel exports, an increase of 5.1% from 2018. Sukumaran lamented that the small factories are very vulnerable because the business model they operate is very different and heavily dependent on orders. It was further noted that Sri Lanka is 100% dependent on the US and EU markets, and if these two markets get affected again, then Sri Lanka is in real trouble. UK's the World Travel and Tourism Council, which is a forum for the travel and tourism industry, announces that Sri Lanka is among the two latest recipients of World Travel and Tourism Council Safe Travel Stamp for safety protocols. The Global Safety and Hygiene Stamp was launched by the WTTC to allow travelers to identify places and companies that have adopted standardized health and hygiene protocols, especially during the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. Sri Lanka and Grenada are among the latest destinations to begin using the world's first ever Global Safety and Hygiene Stamp launched by WTTC. The United Nations World Tourism Organization has welcomed the WTTC Safe Travel Stamp, which placed the safety and hygiene of travelers as top priority. Since the launch of the WTTC Safe Travel Stamp, destination countries and cities around the world have now adopted WTTC's new protocols, including holiday titans such as Portugal, Dubai, Egypt and Turkey. As part of its safe travels protocols, these worldwide measures provide consistency and guidance to travel providers and travelers about the new approach to health, hygiene, deep cleansing and physical distancing in the new normal of COVID-19 world. According to WTTC's 2020 Economic Impact Report, during 2019, travel and tourism was responsible for 1 in 10 jobs, making a 10.3% contribution to global GDP and generating 1 in 4 of all new jobs. UNP leader Ranil Wickremesinghe had informed the party seniors that he is willing to step down from the leadership. He made this announcement when he met the party seniors at party headquarters Sirikota this morning. UNP leader Ranil Wickremesinghe has decided to step down as the United National Party leader following his severe defeat at the parliamentary elections. UNP General Secretary Akhila Viraj Karyavasam said that the decision was taken when the UNP Working Committee met today. Party sources also revealed that the names of former parliamentarians Ravi Karunanayake, Daya Gamage, Vajra Abeyewardena and Akhila Viraj Karyavasam have been nominated for the post of party leader. Former MP Karyavasam also said that a final decision on the new leader will be taken on this Wednesday. Few others whom should have been considered for the party leadership, such as Navin Dissanayake, had expressed their willingness to support new party leader. The United National Party suffered a major defeat at the 2020 general election and failed to secure a single seat from the Colombo district. Historically, the Colombo district was the grip of the UNP, but this time it was also won by the Sri Lanka Pudujana Peramuna. We will be back with stock updates after this short break. Welcome back after the break. The trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a negative note today. The all-share price index dropped 25.73 points to close at 5,150.75 and the S&P SL20 dropped 16.71 points to close at 2,210.48. The turnover was 671 million rupees and over 76 million shares were traded. Up next are forex trades. That's all the news for today. See you tomorrow with State of Business at the same time. Until then, take care. Good night.